right? It gets the job done, and it looks fairly decent. We're going to go over a few things to make this house look better. So, first thing that you might want to do is get some of these and do some texture variation in the mock type. It takes quite a bit of time to do. That's why a lot of people don't really think about doing it, because it just takes too long. But trust me, if you want your build to look better, just don't go overboard. Don't have it look too bad. Another thing that you can do is, I put this on top of a mountain on purpose. You can add a pathway. It doesn't have to be anything special. It can just be like cobblestone or something. But you can have a pathway going all the way down to the bottom of the hill. And that'll make the build look better. It'll make it look, especially if you're going for like a town type of theme, which some players might not. All depends on what you're looking for. You can use a pathway to tie it to everything. And of course, if you're using, I don't know, like concrete or something, you're not going to make this out of cobblestone. But to put this into example, when I get some of that, and I'll see you guys in a second. So you see how that improved it quite a bit. Now, if you're at a gradual incline and you want it to still be where you can just sprint up without worrying, don't do this. I don't care who you are, don't do it. Nope. If you're gonna do it, at least terraform it. I don't care who you are, I don't care what you're going for, make it look normal. Make it look so it doesn't look like a floating pathway. And just by that, it makes it look 10 times better, at least on this side. So once you do this, it'll start making the entire thing look way, way better. And don't do this either. This looks... Honestly though, I'd prefer to have it be a gaping hole than to see this. Make it smooth. I know there's no like dirt slabs, dirt stairs, or like grass anything, unless you install a mod, and then there might be a chance that it has that. But just don't leave it looking like this. Please. Please. See, that makes it look 10 times better. And yes, it does look kind of weird. But, you know, building it off the fly. But, once another thing. So, back to the house. Another thing that you can make it look better, is if, instead of just going for the basic rectangle or the basic square, or the basic rectangle with a square on top, or a rectangle with a triangle on top, you might want to add a tower. I'm just doing a 3x3, but you can use any, what's the word I'm looking for? Any circle, depending on the size of your house. So, actually, I changed my mind. I'm not going to do a 3x3 like that. I'm going to do it like this. Makes it look better. So, I'm just going to bring this up by 3. Have this be 3 blocks tall. And then get, I don't know, the spruce. Or better yet, yeah. Better yet, you can add even more detail to this. You can add a tower, like I said before, and decided to not do what I was saying. So if I get some spruce stairs, if I can find them, there we go, and do this, and do something like this. 1, 2, 3. You can get rid of this entire section here. Have it go up, and then go up one more. You can have this thing go as high as you want. And what I like to do to add more color and stuff is if it, not pumpkin. If you're going to be doing this, you're going to want it to look somewhat decent. Now, how I usually tackle like a roof or something on this is I get okay height. Good enough. I usually do something like this, where I add a different block of some sort to the roof. Now that looks absolutely awful, but you kind of get the idea. So I tore that down, and a better idea that you can do is getting some cobble or whatever you want for the chimney. Add in something like this, something like that, I don't know. Perhaps having it go like this. That's an okay shape. And then getting some walls and a campfire. Putting that like that, and then you need some, not a star, you need some stairs. Get walls, put them on each corner like this. Get cobblestone, put it below said walls, and then put some stairs above on this. And it makes for a really cool design. Now, if you want to add more texture or more smoothness to this, you can just do something like that. Something like that. Something like that. And if you even want to go further than this, you can add, if I can spell, you can add some of these randomly dotted around, depending on what build palette and what the palette you want for a build is. Now you see how I used a bunch of like darker materials and not going for like a jungle theme. You want to keep in mind the terrain and the biome that you're in. So since I'm in a mountains biome, I'm not going to be making something look like it's from the nether. And I'm not going to be using jungle or acacia, because that just won't look normal. It won't look good. No, it just won't, trust me. Unless, of course, you're going inside of a mountain or transitioning from biomes, such as having a desert, say over here, a mountain biome. You might have some of those builds dotted around. You might have this in the desert and the desert one in here. All depends on what you want to do. But another thing that will greatly improve your build, especially if you're doing something like this, is bringing these out. Not a lot of people think of this. At least I didn't think of it when I first heard of it. If you do something like this, and then getting some stairs, and then doing something like this, you'll quickly soon realize, hey, that is not what I was going for. I should have planned this. Do something like this, and you get a window. Of course, you want to like punch a hole through there, and perhaps replicate it on the other side. Yeah, that might be a good idea. So it's not one-sided. So do something like that. That. And soon, you're ending up with something like this. Now, you might not like that at the top, but there's a good fix for that. If you bring the slabs out like this, one block on each side going this way, and then get some of these, or what you could do alternatively is add stairs. I'm not a real fan of adding stairs like this, but you can if you want. You can if you want. I'm not telling you what you can and can't build. I'm presuming if you're watching this, you want to know how to do, I don't know. So once you get something like this, you might think, wait, Nate, that just looks like a witch's hut on top of the hut that you already built. Well, that's why you want to add a tower. Now, whether this be a different type of tower, whether you want it to go sideways, whether you want it to go up, whether you want it to look like a car on top of the roof, I don't really care. But for this video, I'm doing it like this. So, add something close to like this. And if something doesn't look right, and I decide to change it halfway through, it's probably because I'm free building this. Yeah, I'm free building it at every bit of it. So, another thing is you want to, know what the heck you're building. Before, like, if you're doing like a, I don't know, 100 by 100 build out in like the end, you'll want to know what you're building. So, something like that. You might think, wait, I just extended that witch's hut upward. Easy fix. Use the pumpkins from earlier and fill in the roof. And then if you want to, you can add some of these. The pumpkins are really just to offset it more than anything. And then you can get some and some iron bars. You might think, why? You'll see. Now, if you're low on iron, I 100% recommend not to do this. So do something like this. And then add a fence post, iron bar, and a chain. And then, or better yet, not use that. No. Lantern. Grab your boy lantern and put it on top. Now, you became from that little simple hut to something like this. Now, whether that for you may be an improvement, or that might be a downgrade. Who knows? But this is somewhat of my building style. I don't know. I don't really have building style. I just throw things together that looks nice. Yeah. And then, what you can do, make this look even better. Why is my cursor doing that? If you're building, like, I don't know, over there. Also, the seed is this. That. Yeah. So, if you're doing something like this, like a town, you by far want some way, like if you're building over here, you want some way to get to said area. So what you want to do is take that path I was talking about earlier and go over here. So you might think, wait, why am I just extending this? You're not. You're going to get some stone brick. Preferably not infested. You're going to take it and you're going to go. I'm using World Edit, by the way. So, this stuff will be kind of easier. So, I'm just eyeballing it. Do like that. Yeah, that seems about the right area. I'm going to do // replace air with stone brick. And then you have this. Now you might think, hey, why would I do that? It looks worse than before. I'd rather have it be just a cobblestone wall. Or you might just not want a bridge at all. Who knows? But this is things to make your base area look better. I'm going to get rid of this for the sake of my sanity. So, you might think, why? Why would I do such a thing like this? Because it looks terrible. Now, you can either add gravity to it, which is hard, or what you can do is get some stone stairs. I'm doing this all by memory. So put some things here, and then not really. So I came up with a little bit of something. It's not much, but it gives a little bit more texture. So you might be asking yourself, why do I want to do this? It just looks odd. The reason why you want to do this is if you're going for more of a medieval style, back then they would bring carts back and forth on bridges. I'm presuming because, you know, they didn't have cars, they didn't have wagons, they had wagons. Sorry. And, you know, people would also be traveling on this. So if a cart was coming by, the people would usually stand over here so they wouldn't get trampled by the cart. So, yeah. To make this more smooth, I'm going to add some stone stairs to the bottom of it to kind of smooth out the rough edge of the stone brick sides. So if you do this, add some of this. And yes, I know, that's not fixed. I'll get there in a minute. So, just by adding a little bit of this, now I'm not claiming myself to be a top tier builder up next to, like, you know, Brian or like Whip. I think I'm saying that correctly. I don't know how to speak English sometimes. I'm not saying I'm like the world-renowned builder. I'm not saying I'm close to even like Brian, Gemini Tay, anyone else that builds. That's all I can think of right now. Whip, a bunch of other builders, really good builders at that build incredible builds. I'm just going over some of these things that I've learned since the time I was playing Minecraft. So, you want to add that. So, soon, you get something that looks like this. You might be thinking, why would I do that? It's not supported. It's dark. Why? So, what you want to do is get some logs and some lanterns. Every block that you see here, and get some oak fence. Everything you see here that's on this edge will be filled in with these. So, 2 blocks, 2 blocks, 2 blocks, another 2 blocks. So you want to put 2 blocks on each log, which goes on each staircase that juts out. So once you do that on each side, I apologize, it's supposed to be 3 blocks, I'm so sorry. But once you do something like this, you can start adding the lighting. So no hostile mobs come, and if you're playing peaceful mode, you don't really have to deal with it. But this is for more players that's either on normal mode or at least like seeing their own, you know, hand in front of their face. But you want to do something like this. And then once you get to here, you want to add lanterns. So bring these out by 1. So once you get something like this, when you first approach it, you'll get something such as this. So you might be thinking, what? You want to add a lantern on every single one of these. You don't have to. It's just better. So once you add a lantern on every one of these, also this is really resource intensive. This, if you haven't got Silk Touch, it's going to be extremely hard to get. Anything here is more for like, hey, I'm late game, hey, I at least have Silk Touch so I don't have to smelt these multiple times. So, depending on how wide your bridge is, you might want to extend this out by 1. Make it look somewhat natural. So, when you're going along here, especially at night, hold on. It's illuminated and looks fairly decent from up here. So next thing that you want to do for texture, at least not texture, what's its thing? You want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, punch a hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, punch a hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, punch a hole. So you might be asking yourself, why are we going 5 blocks and then punching a hole? That is because we're going to add supports. And these supports are going to extend 3 blocks each since it's a 5 block wide pathway. It just makes sense. So once you place all of these in, you don't really need to punch out the center, you just need to know where it is. And then once you see, and then you picture that. So as I'm doing this second tower, second pillar, you want to bring things all the way down so it's not looking weird. Sure, you might go, oh, I want it to be the natural terrain, but trust me, it'll make it look better in the long run than having dirt or grass or whatever like that, because it just doesn't look right. So when you're done with that, you should get something that looks somewhat like this. Now, if you're trying to have a boat path, which not a lot of players use at this, it's a river, you might not want it to look like that. You might not want it to be this thick, depending on how wide apart you put them. You don't have to put them 5, you can put them 6, 7, I don't know, I don't care, in complete honesty. But this is what you'll get. You might be thinking, hey, it looks terrible. It doesn't look like how I want it. You can easily put some of these here and then fill it in. And that makes this nice, really nice archway, actually. I didn't think that would look that nice. Wow. That looks... That's not... Wrong button. I'm gonna stop using that. So now, you get this really nice archway, in my opinion, that allows you... Now, of course, if you're doing this in survival and you're in normal mode, you're gonna want to light up your builds. You're gonna want to light up the interior of this, depending on if it's built inside an ocean or built in one of these. If it's water, no hostile mobs will spawn except ground, but I think that's just bedrock. I don't know. I am not an expert when it comes to this. So you can do something quick like that, and it makes it a nice little thing. Nice little archways that fit in if you're doing a medieval style build. Now, if I dare put this into survival mode, hold on, normal mode. So if I do /time set night, you'll see that there will be hostile mobs spawning in there. Not gonna sit around waiting for that to happen. But you might be thinking, wait, hold up, hold the phone. This looks hideous. Stairs. You can either put stairs or you can put slabs. In my opinion, slabs would probably look better. Let me grab them. You can put slabs all along this. And then look, it looks better. Now that looks like a little odd, but you can do this however you want. If you want it to look smooth, make it look smooth. If you don't, then don't. It's easy as that. So I just came to the realization, you don't really need it there. So me putting it on the outside was me over detailing. See, even people that know how to build, that build these amazing things. Now, I'm not trying to speak for everyone here, but at least in my opinion, everyone messes up at some point. Mm-hmm. I was confused there for a minute, but I missed out a block. So you went from a really simple house to something that looks like this. Now, yes, that actually is a thing. So now what you might want to do is, hey, look, there is empty space here. I'm never going to use this cave. I don't like it. I keep falling in it and dying. I don't know if you'll actually say those words in live, but fill that in. Don't be afraid to fill in holes and like little pockets of rivers, such as this. That doesn't look structurally sound. If it just gets enough rain in real life, that thing with enough pressure, especially if a car's going up and down, that thing will crumble. So what you want to do for it to look more structurally sound is just add this. Look, it already looks better. Not really, I forgot a block. Now this is not me bashing people for building, for their building style being slightly off or not being top-notch, best thing you ever seen. Next thing that might actually help is an interior. A lot of people, including myself, forget that interiors are a thing when doing these massive projects. Like in my free time, I built a city, right? Really nice looking. So you go from something looking really quite simple, something looking like this. I forgot I was in creative. There's something that looks like this. This is basically my favorite part. And before you ask, yes, the recording failed, so I had to use the built-in editor. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed, please be sure to hit that like button. If you really enjoyed, please be sure to subscribe, and I see you guys in the next one.